ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. This is kicking off right now. Apparently, Purifier is equal to Purri, so we're going to be seeing EDL number 8 final. Purri versus Syanid kicking off right here, right now on DM1. Going to be following Syanid out of the gate here, getting Super Shotgun spawn, moving very quickly over to the Mega Health Room, making sure that that chain gun is going to be the first point of contention. It looks like Purri will be the first guy over to it though, and Purri, Syanid is caught without any real weapons. That was a ballsy rush, really aggressive play from the Super Shotgun spawn in order to try and be first to the chain gun, but Purri came out on top of that, and now he's ducking right back on down in order to get a railgun, wasting no time whatsoever, and he does have a few more seconds to get back to the Mega Room and be there for the next spawn of yellow armor. For those of you not familiar with Quake 2, armor spawn 20 seconds, weapon spawn 30, and that actually makes that chain gun the really important item in the Mega Room. You can see what Purri did in order to get first blood there. The chain was just able to rip Syanid apart, having no armor. Again, very aggressive play from Syanid, but I cannot completely fault him. It's one frag, and on DM1, it's all about getting that control, and sometimes you just have to do those ballsy gung-ho things just in an attempt to get that control. But Purri, now in control of the Mega Room, does have a rail, so now he's really well stacked up, really well ready to just kind of sit and be happy with that one frag. And let nobody be swayed into thinking that Quake 2 DM1 is a camping game. It's all about keeping control of the room, listening for your opponent is coming from, and, well, we'll see what Syanid is working with. He has not managed to get himself that arena yellow. He's simply working with 50 jacket armor, and now he's really just trying to go ninja, go a little quiet, and be very cautious. Rocket launcher is going to be the big tool for him to open up that Mega Room, get in the initial damage, and get it. And you can see him just going really sneaky to get rocket launcher. And again, going silent. But that chain is going to be coming out. Syanid is going to get a rocket off, but Purri is just going to be chaining him right into the floor. And that's going to be frag number 2. Purri dropping down to the water arena in order to grab that rocket launcher. And now he's going to be sitting back up at the Mega Room. And with railgun in hand, he's going to be on the lookout to see if he can get a freebie shot off on Syanid. Now, this is the first map of 5. DM1 is definitely going to be the most cat and mouse of them, but we are going to also be seeing a couple of the ZTN 2 maps, as well as Power Trip and D5, potentially. But Purri is already 2 frags up, and apparently these are 15-minute matches, so DM1, you can see why Purri is kind of playing this slower, not being really aggressive here, and Syanid is definitely taking his time in order to get that stack. The extra 5 minutes, especially on DM1, can really change the pace of the match, and you can already see that here. Purri now dropping down from lift because he sees Syanid trapped down at lower rocket launcher, so he sees an opportunity to catch Purri there without an opportunity for any retaliation besides maybe a rocket. So he dives in, goes in for the kill, makes 3rd frag. And on a map like DM1, if Syanid was rushing in here, we'd already be seeing a much wider score, but as it stands, Syanid has not gotten on the board yet, but he's not giving too much away either. Just a few times Purri's been able to catch him in disadvantageous areas and just push that to his advantage. But we do hear arena yellow picked up by Syanid. Syanid heading back over to lower rocket launcher, coming up the lift. Purri with that rail. He's going to be able to, perhaps, depending on the angle and depending on the situation, he's going to be the guy getting the first word with a lot of these fights. And he knows it, and he's ready up and set on top of the lift. But now he's venturing a little bit, going silent, and it looks like, he's thinking, okay, Syanid's going to try to be really sneaky and try to get into the Mega Room this way, and he does get in, but Purri's right behind him with a full bout of chain, jumping right over those rockets as if they were nothing, and netting frag number 4. But Purri's playing this very interestingly. I mean, he's not just holding up at Mega Room. He does things so that he can time it so that he can be back to the Mega Room before armor, before chain spawns back up. And he's definitely catching Syanid in places where Syanid is assuming, okay, Purri's going to be at Mega, that's where I'm going to be making my attack. But Purri is just constantly changing up the situation. And with that backpack giving him a maximum capacity of 300 bullets, Purri really has a lot of opportunity to do a lot of initial damage here. Syanid drops down to Arena Yellow. Purri knows exactly where he is. Purri catches sight of Cyanid's foot as he exits onto the top there. Syanid throws out a rocket, and those spam rockets have not been catching Purri off guard here. And really, in DM1, when it comes to taking control of the Mega Room, you know, getting that one rocket in your opponent's face when he's not expecting it, that can give everything over to you. Because there is no red armor, there's only the 2 yellows, and so a couple of rockets are really going to be taking a lot of your opponent's stack away. But again, it's all about the geometry here. 5 on 0, 9 minutes 30 seconds left on the clock. Hurry up on top of the Mega Box. It'll be coming up in a few seconds. There it is. And again, Purri's just working the angles as much as he can. He's not getting a lot of hits in, but he's keeping Syanid in a place where he can't really do a lot of damage to him. Syanid up on top of the yellow armor crate is going to be throwing out a few rockets. Purri gets a lot of his stack knocked off, but the damage is done by Purri. He uses all of his bullets in the meantime, but he lands at 6 frags. So I'm going to be taking a look at Syanid and seeing, okay, what's going on in his head. He knows the situation. He knows what advantages his opponents have, and so it's all in his court to take control of the room again. He's going to be depending on Arena Yellow. Ooh, but he's been using that lift a whole lot. He does eat a rail, and most of that yellow armor is going to be taken away. He has one shred of that left, thanks to some shards earlier. No going silent here, but I think Purri knows exactly which angle he's going to be coming out of, and so Purri's going to be netting yet another frag. So DM1, you know, even at a very high level of play, it can create these kind of situations where one guy's in control for most of the map. And we saw Syanid, you know, and it all came down to the beginning there. Purri did not exactly get, you know, the chain gun ideal spawn, so he didn't have that given to him on a golden platter. But Syanid rushing that with SSG, he was just about a second too late, and actually if he got there just a hair earlier, we could be seeing a very, very different match here. But again, I don't want to take credit away from Purri because he's been doing a really fantastic job once again of just changing up the situation, making sure that he's attacking from a multiplicity of angles. Now we finally see Syanid sneaking in a rocket. And Purri getting a little anxious with the zone, hurting himself a bit, but he still has position on the room. But if Syanid is going to rush, this is the time to do it. Purri does get in a rocket. Cyanid's not doing so much damage. So you could see that aggressive push, but Syanid had to leave going, okay, I'm not getting anything out of this. I stand a very good chance of dying here, so I'm just going to leave. So again, Syanid has not been giving anything away, but Purri has definitely been working every advantage into his favor. Purri now going silent in Mega Room, just listening for what kind of play Syanid is going to be making. He's going to be picking up Arena Yellow armor. So Purri is now going to be spamming the lift area. Just wanting to get a little bit of splash, just kind of sending out a sonar, going, okay, which way is Syanid going to be moving here? Which direction is he going to be going? And as you can see, you know, Purri is being very, very aware of Cyanid's position almost the entire time. Syanid trying to trick Purri up, but so far it's been Purri, you know, it's a little more uncommon to see the guy in control of the Mega Room playing these kind of head games. Usually it's in the responsibility and the dominion of the down player to kind of trick out the opponent and make it so that the advantage of the Mega Room fades away. But so far, Purri has been working this from all angles. 5 minutes, 50 seconds left on the map. Purri up by 7. Syanid, you know, again, he's not giving anything away, but he's not getting anything either. So far, his pushes into the Mega Room with the rocket launcher, his rockets just not been connecting. We haven't seen a really solid hit from Syanid in quite a while. There's a little bit of splash there, so Purri is actually, for the first time, going to be pushed out. He's going to leave the fight, get the Super Shotgun 50 health, and get Arena Yellow. So now, for the very first time, Syanid has some dominance here. The question is, with 5 minutes, can he pick up some frags? It's going to be very, very, very difficult for him to do that. Especially since Purri is the guy who can just be as defensive as he wants here. That means Syanid is going to go aggressive. He's going to be eating a bunch of chain, but Syanid is also going to be leaving the room, coming right back out with his own chain, but the damage was done by Purri. The initial shots were done by that chain gun. And Purri's going to be picking up number 8, getting control of the Mega Room once again, and picking up a nice spawn frag with the rail. Arena Yellow's picked up, Syanid faking that, but he does eat the rail there, and going down the ramp, he's going to be eating another one up the bum. So that was 10-0, Purri on Syanid, and with 4 minutes and 21 seconds left on the map, I'm thinking that's GG as far as DM1 goes. I'm not sure if the list given to me by Wissian was in that particular order. If so, we will be seeing ZTN2 DM2 next. If not, we could be seeing something, drastically different. I think, according to the rules of the EDL, it would be Cyanid's pick. And again, Purri really hasn't been giving any opportunities for Syanid to grab that chain. And once you have chain, then you can work on Mega and you can work on Yellow. But without that, you have a lot of work ahead of you. And really, it comes down to the rocket launcher to get the initial splash off. But Cyanid's rockets have been a little less than amazing so far. In some earlier matches in the season, we were seeing, these kind of situations. And, 1 rocket, 2 rockets coming out of the down player. And that just completely changes everything. But Purri, I give a lot of credit to him for not running into a lot of those situations and coming around corners kind of intelligently. But also, Cyanid's aim, even with Purri right in front of him, has been a little bit off. And he did mention that in the interview where he's going to work on aim and he knows the maps that are not going to be strong for him. But on the final 3 minutes here, we're going to see things wind down and Purri grab maybe another frag or 2. And in the same bout of chain gun spam, Purri's going to grab 2 frags off of that, not even breaking stride at all. Nice jump over to Mega Health. And so you can see Syanid, with his movement, just trying to shake up Purri's understanding of what kind of play Cyanid's going to be making. And they did mention to me that they don't really play together all that much. I think part of... And see, Purri was down to 74 health there. 1 more solid rocket would have done the trick, but the aim just wasn't there. But as I was saying, these guys said that they haven't been playing a lot together during the season, and they don't really practice together. So I think part of the appeal of the league for them is that they get this kind of penultimate final matchup and get to see, whose medal can be proved from the rest of the season. But I think it goes without saying that Purri will be taking DM1. Going to be finding out what the next matchup is going to be. Nice initial rocket there by Purri. Syanid does have chain, but that rocket and the almost followed by rail. I mean, Cyanid's going to be on his back foot here the whole time. And people are chatting random stuff in the game server for some reason. 1 minute 25 here, 13 on 0. Syanid does have chain, and so he's going to be coming out of it. We're going to see who's going to come down with the aim and who's going to have that. Purri is down on armor a little bit. He tries to get the exit rail. He's down to 42 health, so we could be seeing Syanid finally get on the board, but it took that much time for him to do that. And he did get a push out once. I mean, Cyanid's pretty much had 3 moments of glory in this map. There was the initial rush with Super Shotgun, which sadly failed. There was the amount of damage done that did push Purri out of the Mega Room for about a minute, but he managed to wheedle himself back in. And now we're finally seeing, at the last minute here, Syanid picking up a couple frags. So not a complete shutout, but Purri having that kind of control and that kind of mind game control for the bulk of the match means that, well, he's going to be moving on here, and it's going to be up to Syanid to pull out map 2. And I do believe we will be sticking at the same server here. I was only fed one address, and again, thank you to Wisian for lifting anti-cheat restrictions so that me on Linux can use my super duper streaming clients and bring this home. So all the credit goes to Wisian. Purri's going to kill himself, but as the icing on the cake here on DM1, final score is going to be 12-2. Syanid is going to have to bring something new to the next map. We'll be seeing how this goes. It will be indeed ZTN2 DM2, the killing machine. And let me see if I have enough time to do a quick rundown here. I might have the opportunity. This map, as you can see, very corridor-based, very heavily reliant on rocket launchers. And that being the case, rocket launcher control is going to be a big part of this. The rocket launcher spawning right up here, right around the corner, right below Mega Health, and with red armor right there. So that right there, where the rocket launcher spawns, is the central, I guess you could say it's the G-spot of the map, just with the arrangement of the items. But of course, that's kind of in a mid area with, you know, you having to go down here, and you can see rockets can be spammed out, and you also have to move back up in order to get Mega Health up here. On the other end of the map, we do have yellow armor, railgun, and another yellow armor up here. So, you know, the down player does have quite a few options, and there is also a chain up on top of this platform. So I don't want to say it's an unbalanced map, but it's definitely one that will rely on the rocket launcher. But Purri is going to be getting yellow armor, railgun spawn, grabbing a few shards, getting that first chain gun, jumping right on over to get the other yellow armor. And chain on Hyper Blaster, you know, Syanid, if he has the aim, he could do it, but Purri with that chain is going to be taking him right down. And as you can see, Purri was knocked down to 34 health. It was pretty much that 100 armor that saved him just barely. But Purri will be the first one on the board, and he will be the first guy to get to that red armor. But this is where the mind games of Purri could possibly falter a little bit. There's just so many more variables involved with the hallways here. So Purri wanting to spam things out and wanting to keep a lockdown on Syanid's position. Syanid could turn that against Purri pretty easily here if he keeps his head about him. But right now, Purri going silent, almost needing a nade. And coming right out strong with Hyper Blaster. Rocket launcher will be, I'm not sure if he got a grab there, but Syanid does have chain out. And he's going to be moving right back in here, looking for the weapon switch time to get a little bit of chain gun damage. Nice ducking under the Hyper Blaster bolts to try and sneak in a rail. I'm not sure that hit, but right now, Purri's still at 200 pretty much after Mega and red armor. Purri grabbing red armor again, RJing up to the spawn of rocket launcher, almost catching Syanid in the face with that rocket, and now he's just chasing down. Purri's going to give him the chase, but not before the damage is done. Coming right back around the corner, spamming down Hyper Blaster down that corridor, and Syanid coming in for more. He's just eating it up the bum no matter which way he goes, so hopefully he'll be switching it up a little bit. We do hear rail yellow picked up by Syanid, but Purri is going to be pushing him out of completely any opportunity to make a play for red armor. He wasn't even able to be in the room. But nice drop down rail by Syanid. That's going to knock a lot of Purri's Mega and red armor off. And there's the second one. Purri is now, for the first time, fairly weak here. And now he's going to be waiting for red armor. Syanid is going to be leaving him up for long enough that Purri will be able to get the grab. So the damage was done by Syanid, but he was not able to quite convert it over into control. And nice run by Rail. Purri making a beautiful shot, keeping really good control and keeping Syanid low in health. As you can see, he's at 61 and 34. Purri, on the other hand, still rocking 160, 160. And right in the face, Purri's going to be netting frag number 2. But we're 3 minutes into this. We've only seen 2 frags so far, but it's going to come down to, you know, even if Syanid does have that great rail aim, he needs to be able to push that advantage like he attempted to in DM1 and be able to take control of red armor or mega health or rocket launcher or something along those lines. Because as you can see, Syanid has not had rocket launcher available to him at all. Purri now going fairly quiet here before moving back over to red armor. It is left up. Syanid is not there for the challenge. Ooh, he did try to get in for a rocket launcher. Did not get it, but did manage to sneak in a rail. But you can see him just try and start to make the play for these items. Nice, almost rocket there by Purri. And again, Syanid trying to throw out the defensive hand grenades, but with that lift up, Syanid has nowhere to go. He's going to get off a rail, and actually Purri's out of bullets. He's going to be switching over to Hyper Blaster. We will see we will see Syanid grabbing a rocket launcher, but not before he dies. But that was a nice little bit of rail damage done. I'm actually surprised that Syanid lasted as long as he did. So Purri's going to be waiting for Mega Health, not for very long. He still has pretty good timing on it. Nice rocket done by Purri. Switching on over to Hyper Blaster. Chain is being taken out by Syanid. Purri's accuracy a little less than overwhelming with that Hyper Blaster, but rails come back out, and I'm not sure what Syanid got out of that fight. He did get himself a red armor, and maybe that could put him in a good place to fight for a rocket launcher. You know, these being 15-minute games, again, you know, he can kind of play this as slow as he likes, almost. He does have the one red armor. Purri is up there on top of Mega. Syanid trying to get in the rail. Purri doing much the same right now. 10 minutes left on the map. And here's the thing, now that Syanid has grabbed that one red armor, he can use yellow to bolster it up and it'll still be red type, which is like 80% protection. So Cyanid's in a better position here than he has been for most of the map, but he does take 2 rails without even realizing it almost. A little slow on the draw there. Was looking for Purri out of one area, and Purri doing those head games. This is going to be taking him out from another side, so Syanid still does have a few shreds of that red armor left, but now he's going to have to work back, kind of start from square 2, and bolster that back up again. Syanid moves into the main room. He moves in a little too far, and Purri comes right out with chain gun, taking out Cyanid's red armor. Now he's being dropped down to yellow once again. And Syanid, again, he's waiting for Purri to come around these corners. But Purri's been playing this as such that I don't think once Cyanid's been able to catch Purri with the angle that he was really expecting. So Cyanid's back up to 100 yellow. Not grabbing shards, but Purri still knows he's there. Nice rail done on the red armor grab by Syanid. That is going to be taking a lot of that off at the very least. And with a follow-up second one. And number 3 right around the corner. Holy shit, we're seeing Syanid finally getting in these super ninja shots and just doing the damage where it needs to happen. Cyanid's going to make the run-in for red armor. I'm going to be surprised if he survives here, though, because that rocket from Purri is going to be ripping him a new one. So Syanid was extremely close to getting that one. Purri still has been caught out and not been able to grab that last red armor, so he's still going to be relatively weak here for a small window of time. But Syanid just needs to land those rails once again, and Purri grabbing Mega and red once again. He's back to where he was, and all of Cyanid's work here has so far not gotten him anything. 4-on-0 now, 7.5 minutes left on the map. Red Armor's going to be up. Syanid's going to try to get the rail in. He's going to be wise not to run in there. Purri does eat a rail. But where's the follow-up? Where's the other half? Purri, actually, now Syanid's actually finally getting to the point where he can catch Purri coming around these corners, and Syanid can make him pay for it with the rail or two. Rocket launcher's up. Cyanid's not going to be running in for it. Purri's going to get the grab, but Purri running out of bullets is going to be keeping Syanid alive at the moment. Red Armor back up. Purri's going to get the grab. 100, 110 for Purri right now. A couple of rails could take all of that away. So Purri has not hit that 200 mark for a couple minutes here. So Cyanid's doing something right. But there always just needs to be that other part of it. There is the rail from Syanid. 1 down and 2 to go. But that rocket from Purri is going to be doing a lot of damage against Syanid. Purri now switching back over to SSG. He knows that Syanid is weak, and he's just going to be looking to do the finish off. Switching back over to Shane here. And here's the thing, you know, Purri's been eating a lot of rails. I think it might be fair to say that total damage done by Syanid could be on par, if not greater, than the total amount of damage done by Purri, even though Purri has 4 frags. But all the rails that Cyanid's been hitting has been doing him a lot of good. But Purri's been able to do tit for tat on the damage for the most part when it comes to the rocket launcher, and Syanid not having that rocket launcher really making him pay for it. Purri's down to 24 health though with that last rail. So we hear the chain spin up. Purri ducking back over to yellow armor by the railgun, also grabbing 25 health along the way. So he could still survive a rail here. Five minutes left on the map. We hear armor picked up by Syanid. And he's coming out with Chain. It's going to be picked up by Purri, though. Chain from Syanid is going to be doing a lot of damage. Purri's going to be backing out of this, throwing out defensive rockets. And I think those defensive rockets have been able to do their own thing there. 46-79 for Purri, 105-50 for Syanid. So Purri's still looking pretty good here, but Syanid was able to get a few words in on that last fight. But again, is it going to turn into a frag? Is it going to turn into anything? And now Syanid was able, out of that, he was able to grab a rocket launcher, and now Purri, for the first time during this match, I think, is going to be facing down Cyanid's rockets. So now, wondering, now that he has the rocket launcher, 4 frags, 4 minutes, totally doable. But will Syanid do it? The way Purri's been playing, you know, he's been able to adapt his pacing very well. Now switching things back up to a very high-intensity battle here. Rocket on rocket. Syanid throwing them out. One more is going to do it. Now Syanid with red armor, with rocket launcher. Now he's the guy in charge of the map. And now he has 3 minutes and 39 seconds to make these 3 frags up and possibly tie it back up. But now he needs to find a way to catch Purri off guard and force his damage in. And I think the more aggressive he goes, yeah. I mean, the more eager he gets for those frags, the more Purri's going to be, okay, walk into my rails, buddy. I'm okay with that. And so Purri, you know, being 4 frags up, he was still in a position where, you know, even not being in control of the map, time was not really against him. And, well, we saw Syanid getting a little desperate for the frag, and it paid. He paid for it. Hyper Blaster should be taken down. Syanid there, and Purri's going to be back in charge of the map. 3 minutes left to go. 6-on-1. But we will be seeing at least one more map here. And if it is going along the list, I think it could be ZTN2 DM3, The Rage. Purri just waltzing right through the grenades, and a very ballsy bit there, but that was just in order to maintain control of that rocket launcher. But Syanid, oh geez, that one grenade. Why hasn't he been throwing these grenades out sooner? He's been definitely doing a lot of damage with them, and now Purri has the higher ground. But the more he walks out into it, the more damage he's going to be taking. But Purri, again, he's been very, very conscious of how he moderates these fights. He knows exactly when they're going to start, and he knows exactly when they're going to end. So Cyanid's damage has mostly been coming from the rails, and now a couple clean grenades. But for every 2 that Syanid gets, Purri just needs to hit 1 in order to have the same effect and push Syanid off of the fight. So final 2 minutes, Purri is going to be delaying the jump up lift there a little bit, just to avoid eating another grenade sandwich. Upper yellow armor picked up. Purri is going to be grabbing rocket launcher once again, and with that rocket, he's going to be doing a lot of damage against Syanid. Syanid now really weak, and Purri is still in control of red armor. Chasing down with Hyper Blaster now. Syanid is going to try to get in one more rail shot. He does make it, but as you can see, Purri's still at 100, 200, and now, yeah, he's A-okay as far as stat goes. So last minute, Purri's going to be loosening things up a little bit here. We could be seeing just in the last minute here, as Purri gets a little more aggressive, Syanid could pick up another frag or 2, but Purri will unequivocally be getting this win. 9 health, but he's been doing a lot of damage with those rockets. And Purri's had 13-9 health for a long time here. Syanid has been having to restock himself, but now we should see frag go over to Syanid. That's 2 on the board, but versus 7 with 15 seconds left on the clock. Not going to be happening, so Syanid has one more chance here in this best of 5 in order to bring it back. There we have it. It's going to be a final score of 7-2 on ZTN2 DM2. We could be seeing the Rage coming up next. Oh no, it's going to be dual 5. Wow, okay. I can dig that. We'll be reading up as well, so I don't think I'm going to get any time to do a rundown on the map, but a very fast-paced, a very well-balanced map, I have to say. And we'll see what kind of head games Purri's going to be bringing this time around. We're actually going to be watching Syanid out of the gate here as he gets chain gun, yellow armor, and railgun all off the bat. And that's a pretty standard start for that side of the map. On the other side, Purri will be having rocket launcher, SSG, and another yellow armor. So with that weapon switch up being what is, Purri can use the rockets to get in the first board, but Syanid with that chain is going to be getting the first one on the board. 150 now 100, 100 with full yellow armor control. But I do believe Purri's going to be grabbing one off of the spawn there. So Syanid will be having a fairly well stacked up Purri that it can contend with. But now that Syanid has a full repertoire of items here, the match is in his hands, but Duel 5 is the kind of map where things can turn around very quickly. Purri coming up strong with that chain. Syanid does make the frag happen, but he's down to 25 health, and that grenade almost finishes him off. And and Syanid going 50 health. I really want it. I really need it. I don't care how much time it takes. I'm going to get it. So Syanid's still at 95-50. Stack should be fairly even here. But Yellow Armor is going to be up. Cyanid's going to be grabbing 1 for 96-93. And Purri at 100-100. So it's going to come down to the weapons, and it's going to be a fairly even fight here for this one. Syanid taking a bit of chain to the face, but backing out of the fight to make sure he gets control of the next grab for Yellow Armor. Now this is really risky. Purri knows that Syanid has less health and less armor, and if Cyanid's not careful, he could be eating a lot of damage with that Yellow Armor grab. And at the very, very least, Purri will be just as well stacked as Syanid is. So even though, you know, weapons and stack, they're going to be fairly even, Syanid does have the slight advantage of being 2 frags up. He could be a little more patient than Purri, but these being 15-minute matches, I think Purri's going to be taking all the time he feels he needs in order to take control here. So it's going to come down to aim. It's going to come down to who can play out the map. Cyanid's going to be staying alive with 33 health, 22 armor, and with that rail, Purri getting a little aggressive, trying to finish off Syanid. Cyanid's going to be grabbing a 3rd frag. SSG is going to be strong. Adrenaline picked up. That's going to be giving Purri a second lease on that life. And Purri not rushing in for Yellow Armor right away. Cyanid's actually going to be eating a load of buckshot due to that, and Purri's going to get on the board. And now with that right off the spawn, this is already now once again a 1 frag game. Purri at 54-34, now 84 Yellow Armor. And he's brought this back around in a very, very short amount of time. Health is back up, and I do like this map since there is no Mega, there is the Adrenaline, there is 50 health on that side of the map. So a lot of the fights do end up being, okay, either we both got 50 armor or we both got 100 armor. Oh, and that snap rail by Purri is going to be denying that armor grab from Syanid, and that's going to tie it up 3-3. So again, Purri does have a window here where he's going to have more weapons, more armor than Syanid will. That upper Yellow Armor is going to be up, and Purri jumping right around the corner is going to be right in Cyanid's face with that chain gun, but it's going to be Cyanid's rocket launcher that's actually going to be costing him the frag. Purri grabbing Adrenaline, heading back up there, and he's going to be moving ahead. Actually, Cyanid's going to be dropping behind if you want to get that technical. So again, the rails, this being a Yellow Armor only map, this could completely change around in just a couple of shots. It's nowhere near as, you know, balance heavy as like DM1 or ZTN2, DM2. You can see Syanid just waiting around the corners trying to get it done, but Purri with that chain is making Syanid pay for every shot that he misses. Purri does eat one, but he's coming back in strong with SSG. Syanid, he needs to make the shot. Both of them close range rail. Very risky, really ballsy from Purri. But he's going to be moving out of this. Both of those guys going, okay, this is silly. Let's back out of this. Let's come back for another day. Syanid now throwing out some rockets. But Purri will be in the lead here. 10 minutes left on the map. Alright, now Purri with 42 health, 100 Yellow Armor, that Adren, some health on the other side of the map could be doing him some good, but he's not being overly anxious about getting there. Now going silent in the lower corridor. Getting out the chain and not taking any of that rocket, so that is a net win for Purri on that fight. Rockets coming out from Syanid, none of them doing any good. And again, ever since DM1, I've been noting that even when Syanid does have a rocket launcher, he's having to, you know, fire 3 rockets for every one that Purri does when it comes to amount of damage done. And in that last bout, I don't think Purri took a lick of rocket splash. So I think mentioning yesterday that the aim was going to be a big factor for Syanid either way. I think he was right, and, well, he's not looking as good when it comes to that. Purri sneaking in a rail right around the corner, eating a little bit of splash due to that, but getting himself that 5th frag. Now 3 up, 9 minutes left on the map. Purri eating a load of SSG shot as he peeks his head over there. So Syanid is getting in some damage, but he's not making it happen with the rocket launcher. And his rails have not quite been there either. Chain on chain is going to be whipped out here, and a lot of that's going to come down to aim. Purri with 24 health is going to be left the victor there. We could be seeing Syanid try to go aggressive and try to convert that to a frag. But with that yellow armor pickup and the 225 health, I think that window of opportunity has shut down for Syanid, and Purri is right back to where he needed to be as far as a strong stack. And with this 50 yellow armor coming up, Purri's going to be here for him. Finally, a nice rocket coming out of Syanid there, and followed up by a second and third. Syanid is going to be making a 3-frag game once again here, 6-3, 7 minutes and 50 seconds left on the map. But that window of opportunity I was talking about for Syanid to make the conversion, Purri is going to be the guy trying to make that happen more. Syanid running out of bullets here is going to try to make the frag, but he has picked up 2 in that short amount of time. Now out of rockets, that yellow armor is going to be something contested here. Purri coming right back around the corner, trying to get in the rocket. Syanid switching back over to SSG. He knows that Purri is going to be relatively weak here for a few seconds, at least until that adrenaline comes back up. Yellow armor is also going to be going over to Syanid there. We do hear shards picking up. Syanid grabbing more chain, and this is actually really big, because if he can catch Purri as he makes the move for this yellow armor. Ooh, but Purri's going to be the one laying the trap for him. Syanid just barrels on through gung-ho style and lands the frag, now making it 6-5. But if Cyanid's not careful here, Purri can really make him pay for going this aggressive. Ooh, jumping right into a beautiful grenade done by Purri. And that could be taking some steam out of Cyanid's aggressive play here. We do hear yellow armor picked up by Purri, and Syanid actually... Ha! That rocket followed him all the way down the corridor, but dropping down there in an effort to catch Purri, Purri was just able to exit up the lift and completely negate that attack. So Syanid, I think we're starting to see some signs of him getting a little too aggressive for his own good. But that rail is going to be beautifully done by Syanid, walking right past that rocket, and Cyanid's going to bring it up 6-6 once again, pulling out second wind here. 6 minutes left on the clock. We'll see if Syanid can keep it up. Nice chain, but also traded off by the rocket. Syanid moving right into the path of Purri's rocket suit there, almost eating another couple more. But right off the lift, Syanid will be taking the lead here, but it is a 1-frag lead. Syanid at 51-62. Nice. Yeah, this should be another frag for Syanid. There we have it. And right off the spawn, shitty spawn for Purri, but he does have Hyper Blaster. Syanid does not have enough bullets to make it happen, but Purri going aggressive with that Hyper Blaster. A little odd there. You know, there's enough time to be making the 1 frag or 2 frags, but the more aggressive Purri goes here, he could be throwing away some really nice shots. 9-6, Cyanid's favor. Beautiful comeback here on the third map. And this is, again, Cyanid's last chance to keep this thing alive. Purri did say in the interview yesterday, though, you know, statistically on paper, a lower player is going to be getting... He's going to be getting a map upset, but the chances of him getting a 2-map upset, not so likely. But me, I have a lot of faith in Syanid. He has been undefeated so far in the season. Then again, so has Purri. And Purri's actually lost 1 map against Goat, and Syanid has been taking 2-0 for every single map so far. So we'll let the numbers speak for themselves, but here we have it. Purri 2 maps up on Syanid. Syanid now 4 frags ahead on this third map. So I don't know, maybe Syanid could push this into a 4 or 5 mapper. 4 minutes 20 left on the map, 10-6. Purri has a 4 frag deficit to take back here. And you can see Purri's play really changing up. Maybe a couple frags too late, but now Purri's play has definitely shifted gears into kind of this defensive spam out, Hyper Blaster spam out rail style. Syanid is going to be catching him off guard, doing a bit of chain, and that would have been a frag if Purri had missed that rail, but that took a lot of the momentum out of Syanid. And we're going to be seeing Syanid going, okay, I'm 4 frags up, now what? Purri's still low on health, and it looks like Cyanid's going to go aggressive and finish him off. Nice rocket pop off, almost with the finish, and there it is, 12 on 6. Syanid has now doubled Purri's score. Beautiful comeback. And I will say, on these finals, I do love to see more than just a 3-map shutout. I mean, I won't lie, I love seeing 5 mappers. And catching him right into the, did he say something about that? Catching him right in the elevator. Syanid's going to be taking another frag off of that. He will be eating a rail though, and a secondary one. So, oh, and 3 is going to be putting Syanid on his back leg. 10 health left for him. Not a shred of armor. So that's... Ooh. So that makes 7 frags for Purri to catch up for it in the last 3 minutes here. But if he gets the good spawns, we could be seeing a double comeback. The pendulum now swinging back in Purri's favor. But here's the thing, we've been seeing Purri as this really strong defensive, just kind of take the time, pace things out player in the first 2 maps. But here he's going to be forced into the aggressive style of play that Syanid has so far been able to pull out here on Duel 5. Purri now at 8,100. Syanid at 92 and 2 points of jacket armor, but he's going to be grabbing the combat. But right now I want to see what Purri is going to be up to. 2 minutes left here. Cyanid's got to turtle this for all he's worth. And now with 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the map, I don't see Purri taking this one back, especially with that amount of chain. I mean, every bit of chain and rail damage that Syanid does at this point is just going to be denying Purri the ability to just go, you know, strong forward and go super aggressive. See, there it is once again. Now Purri needs to back off. He's going to be trying to catch Syanid here, and I'm actually kind of surprised that Syanid did not lay the trap for Purri. But again, enough time has gone by, and Purri's lost enough opportunity here that Syanid will be taking this map. Oof. And, you know, I won't lie, I mean, Purri will probably get another frag or 2 off here. But as far as catching up, I don't see Syanid losing this one out. Alright, final 30 seconds here. Syanid 14, Purri 10. Syanid doing a beautiful comeback. Purri getting control of the map in the last couple minutes, but it was too little too late, and Syanid got himself sufficiently far enough ahead that Purri was not able to catch it back up. So we will be seeing a 2-1 situation here. That means Syanid will be getting one more chance here. And the maps left in the pool are Power Trip and Q2 DM, DTN2 DM3 The Rage. So there we have it. Final score is going to be 14-11. Alright, here we go. We do have the countdown, 15-minute time limit. It could not get any more epic than this. Alright, we're going to be watching Syanid off the gate. He will be spawning jacket armor. That means that rocket launcher will be available to him, but red armor will possibly be taken out. Syanid moving back over to yellow, grabbing that at the very least. So he doesn't exactly have control right now, but he is in a good defensive position. And he does have a good repertoire of items for that. So next, red armor will be coming up here in just a few seconds. Red armor does spawn every 20. Cyanid's going to rush in, get the grab, throwing out rockets. And again, his rockets have been less than fantastic for at least the earlier halves of most of these maps. But he has managed to get himself that red armor. No other weapon though, and that chain gun is going to be really important for him to get. But Cyanid's been able to deny rocket launcher from Purri at the very least. And actually, seeing Purri's rockets doing what they're doing, with Syanid now dropping out defensive rockets down to 51 health, now 76, low on armor though. I do have to say, you know, denying Purri that rocket launcher is going to be really good, but you can see him doing exactly what he needs to do with that chain gun. And once again, Cyanid's been pushed off of red armor, and Purri's going to be getting the grab. And that rail from long red. Oh, right on the spawn! And we do see 2 frags right off the bat there for Purri. Switching over to his point of view now. 13 minutes, 35 seconds. Purri does eat a rail, but where's the follow-up going to be from Syanid? Purri now showing up for red armor once again. There's the grab. 100, 200 now for him. And there is no mega on the map, so the armor is what it's all about. That grenade just barely missing on Purri's face there. Purri does eat one a little bit, but just a hair of splash, and Purri's still looking really good on his stack. Syanid now on his back leg, just trying to run out and do as much damage as he can as Purri gets the grab for a red armor. That's 3 rails by Syanid, and Cyanid's going to be getting on the board in a beautiful way, missing the rail off the spawn though, and not quite tying it back up 2-1. Syanid now throwing out a few spam rockets, or I'm sorry, tactical suppressive fire rockets. But with that chain, you know, Purri's been having that chain way more often than Syanid has. Syanid does have one, he just hasn't been whipping it out. So again, this is dangerous time for Syanid to go quiet here. This is the time where aggressive behavior from Syanid would really be paying off. Syanid now at 4 health. He is going to be getting the steal for red armor, but Purri is going to be moving ahead 3-on-1 now. Waiting for red armor to come up, and I'm actually kind of surprised, you know. Syanid has been waiting for that rail shot, but he's going to be seeing Purri getting the grab for it first. Purri was there a little while before then, so interesting choice by Syanid not to drop down. Of course, that would have been really potentially risky, but now Purri definitely has himself a really good stack here. He does eat a rail as he comes around the corner though, but Purri's going to be chasing down with that chain and going along the chain gun corridor up that ramp. You really don't have any place to escape to. So Purri's going to be making that 4th frag really quickly there. 4-on-1 now, 11 minutes, 30 seconds left of the map. Red armor is going to be back up here in a second. There it is. Purri now RJing back up to top. Because we know that Syanid has been trying to, and that is a play I absolutely love. You know, knowing that your opponent is down there in the rocket launcher room, dropping down the lift pad and denying that exit from your opponent is just pretty much a huge you're fucked kind of situation. Which is one of the things I love about the map. But Purri now at 100, 130. Knowing that Syanid is going to be trying to get a lot of ninja damage, just trying to be as sneaky as possible. Purri is doing what he can to just throw that right back in Cyanid's face. You can see him delaying, item pickups and movement and things of that nature, so he's really making it difficult for Syanid to land those shots. And again, you know, 2 times out of 3 so far, Syanid's been trying to make those rail shots happen from that particular corridor, and when Shane is out, there's just too much distance there. Just barely, but there's too much distance there for you to be able to escape adequately. Syanid does move into the crawl space up there, and that will drop him right down on top of the chain gun. Purri does eat a rocket, and that's the thing. Cyanid's rockets just need to be stepped up a notch. He does land a couple there, but just missing those rockets has been costing him so much. When in comparison, Purri's rockets have been doing a lot of spam damage and a lot of damage just on the passing by. Oh my god. Oh, beautiful rocket done by Purri. That's going to make it 8-1 with 9 minutes and 25 seconds left on the map here on P-Trip. And Syanid's running out of time to make a comeback happen. And this being map 4, Purri could well be taking the title. Purri now working down below, Syanid trying to be above, and Syanid is actually losing a bit of time just trying to set up for the pot shots when Purri goes in for red armor. And I think that does belie kind of a lack of confidence in his rockets, because if you do have a solid rocket aim, you could just drop down. I mean, Purri was up there for a good 2 seconds, and you could get a lot of damage done that way. But so far, Syanid has not been making those kind of plays at all. Shane being whipped out by Syanid. Purri is A-okay with that, having the higher ground. And again, Cyanid's been playing the kind of plus back with the railgun game, and he's been getting a lot of those hits in, but nowhere near enough to make Purri think twice about keeping control of the red armor. So there's another hit. And see, you know, having that red armor, I mean, Purri only needs to land like 1 or 2 for every 3 that Syanid throws out. It's just not working out for him. So there are 7 minutes and 50 seconds left in the map. And right now I'm wondering, you know, can Syanid change up his pace here? Can he pull something different out of his hat? Or is this the way he's going to be playing Power Trip down to the very end? Even if not, Purri's going to be changing up his game quite a bit. RJing up to the top there, catching Syanid off guard, landing that 10th frag. That's 9 ahead of Syanid now, with less than 9 minutes left on the map. And for every frag that Purri gets at this point, it's just going to be making Cyanid's comeback that much more exponentially more difficult. Now the timing might be such that Purri could actually be caught out here for the grab for red armor, so Cyanid's going to be trying to make this happen, and actually he should have. Oh no, red armor is up. Purri has his back to it. Purri is relatively low on health, but, you know, Syanid just did not switch away from that railgun. He was just depending on it for dear life, and that death grip is going to be the death of him today. Finally throwing out some rockets, but as you can see, they're not really doing what they need to do. That last one did do a bit of damage, but that was a lot of time that Syanid was not doing much against him at all. Now that was a nice bit of SSG as Purri came up the ladder, but rocket spoke louder. That's going to be 14-on-1. Syanid 13 frags down with 6 minutes left on the clock. I don't see it happening. But we will be seeing this thing run down. Purri grabbing red armor once again. Rails being thrown out still by Syanid here. And Purri just doing his ring around the bottom of that, throwing out rockets left and right. And we've seen him in previous EDLs just getting so many frags just with that method. And again, Purri's rockets have been doing the job. Syanid's, you know, they've knocked Purri down to 57 health, but Purri's afforded enough time. I mean, Syanid, if he's trying to do this kind of whittle down and finish off play, he's been getting the whittle down, but even after the frag, he's taking too much time between, you know, getting some sort of stack back up to really be doing anything against Purri, because Purri has enough time to, you know, get more health, get the 50, get another red armor, and he's back to tip-top shape by the time that Syanid starts making the attack happen again. So the timing from Syanid just hasn't been there at all. Shane's going to be out, but Purri's going to drop in with the rocket death from above. And we're going to be seeing the Duck Hunt dog laughing a little bit at that one. 16 on 1 now, 4 minutes 43 seconds left on the clock. And we're going to be saying a huge congrats to Purri at this point, but we'll save it a little bit later. We still have 4 minutes here to go. But it is interesting to see that even if this were a 10-minute match, the outcome would not have been much different. In the other match, Syanid definitely took advantage of the fact that they were 15-minute matches and really just eased into that and just kind of went patiently with it. And here, he's being patient, but the map is small enough that Purri can, you know, catch Syanid with rockets in the face before Cyanid's really ready for it. Not that you're ever really ready for rockets in the face, but you know what I mean. And that yellow armor's been up for a bit, and Purri's actually going to have to hurt himself in order to get the grab for it. The ring around the rosy rockets are again doing their thing, and Purri is going to be not getting a frag, but definitely keeping Syanid on his back foot, doing enough damage so that Cyanid's going to be spending enough time trying to come in here. And, you know, Cyanid's actually been able to get a grab for chain gun quite often here, but more often than not, he's been eating a rocket whenever he comes in for the entrance to start doing damage with that chain. Purri, I think, is getting a little cheeky here. Going silent. We hear Dren picked up. And that will be Syanid coming up along the top. Almost faced right down into the ground with a rocket. Purri now dropping down. Actually, rocket jumping up to get some more damage in. And with that rocket, beautiful prediction there. And Purri is going to be getting another frag. 17 on 1 now. And so Syanid has had his claim to fame with D5. But even that was a fairly close game, especially with Purri swinging it back in his favor in the latter half of the map. But really, really great games there. But we will be seeing Purri taking home the crown for the season of the EDL. Now, it is interesting to see that for the first time in EDL history, we're not seeing Damaya, or Damia as some may prefer it. We're not seeing him in the top 3, and that's mostly because, well, he's not here this time around. And I think he's just taking a little break. There's some speculation about whether or not he's going to be coming back. But there is the call universally for the need for new blood, and that's something that I will definitely harp on. And even though I think we can all agree that seeing like double elimination is not something we want to see, maybe splitting off the elimination groups into higher and lower areas, not just like, you know, winners losers bracket, but having 2 separate mini tournaments. Maybe, because there are nearly 50 players in the beginning of each of these. Syanid does get back on the board there with a grenade, but right now I think Purri is just kind of jacking around. And with 2 health, Purri's going to be getting back on the board there. He's going to crater, though. So I think lulls are being called out at this point. But like I was saying, you know, it would probably be nice to see, you know, some of those other 50 players, because in EDL history, you know, who do we really know? We know Damaya, we know Purri, we know Syanid, we know Provi, and a few other players like that. But other than that, out of the 50 players, there's so many names that just go unheard of. So I'm just not quite sure if the tournament does justice to how many players are actually involved. And of course, Purri, Syanid, Damia, they're going to be like the top 3, almost unequivocally. But hey, that's just some food for thought, because, you know, we really started to see it start at QuakeCon 2009, where there was the Pro Division and the Open Division, and having equal coverage for both tournaments, I think that was a really, really big boon for the community, and for, you know, giving some spotlight to the players who might not be of the likes of like Fox or Dehang or any of those other players, Rafa, etc. Fox, geez, I missed that guy. But we have the final 10 seconds here. GG's called by all, and especially by me. This is Jahar with TastySplay.tv. Seeing the wrap-up, 22-5 here is going to be the final score on P-Trip. And dun-dun-dun, Purri will be getting the crown and be getting the title of EDL number 8 championship. That's 2 in a row now, as we covered last year as well. Huge shout-outs to all the admins, Wissy and Chimera. Thank you for making this happen. Thank you to the players for being so awesome, letting us have the pre-game interview. And, well, I will be saying my tatas here in just a second. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/tastycast. It is quite honestly the best way to hear what's going on with us, with our coverage. And there's going to be a lot of it coming around all week, every week. Multiple games, multiple formats, but Tasty Spleen is going to be giving you the same quality of coverage for whatever game we do. Also look for this video. I'll post it up on TastySpleen.tv later today. Right after this, I'm going to go ahead and make a nice, sexy banner image for it, or non-sexy, depending on your preference. And getting that up ASAP, and we will be all updated and ready for the upcoming week. Right now, I do believe there are some worse out things going on, but I think I'll be signing off for most of the day. So GGs are going to be had by all. I love you guys. Couldn't do any of this without you. And the EDL, again, is where a lot of my heart is, just because, well, just because it's where we started. I mean, I can't say a whole lot more than that. So this is Jahara saying, see you guys later.